Star Wars is unlike any other franchise. In the first 6 films, under George's unrivalled genius and creativity, no fruit-bearing possibility remained unchecked for its storytelling value.
But how am I to know the good side from the bad?
You will know.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, where today we'll be breaking down one of the major George Lucas theories from the Star Wars prequels. The theory, if true, only further cements George's brilliance, for which the foundations and success of the first 6 films are built on. So let's jump straight in. It's universally understood that George had an obsession with rhyming.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
This became a core component in Star Wars, and can be found throughout the first 6 films, for which George created. Some prime examples of rhymes found within Star Wars include:
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
I will do anything that you ask.
I will do whatever you ask.
So keeping with the theme of rhyming, the theory in question surrounds the character design of Sidious's 3 inferior apprentices in the prequels. Although Palpatine is the main villain, when George came to creating Darth Maul, Count Dooku and General Grievous, there's a consistent rhyme reflected in the journey of the Chosen One. The theory goes that George Lucas wanted to reflect the designs of Darth Sidious's 3 apprentices on the story of Anakin Skywalker. Now, to break this theory down and test its legitimacy, let's firstly look at Darth Maul, examine his character, and how both his story arc and characteristics are reflected in the journey of Anakin Skywalker. In Episode 1, fans were introduced to Darth Maul. Not much about Maul's background was explored in the film. But since the movie's release in 1999, both comics, books, animated series, and the standalone solo movie,
you and I will be working much more closely from now on,
gave us a great insight into Maul's background. 2 key characteristics of Maul are evidently reflected at the start of Anakin's journey. Maul was firstly taken from his home planet Dathomir by Palpatine at a very young age. Drawing parallels, as we see in The Phantom Menace, this is reflected at the start of Anakin's story, when he is freed as a slave on Tatooine and taken by the Jedi.
I tried to free your mother, Annie, but water wouldn't have it.
But like Maul, Anakin isn't exactly freed, as he gives up his moral agency to the Jedi Order. By doing so, Anakin becomes an agent of the Jedi Order, which in turn is reflected in Maul, when he becomes fully subservient to Darth Sidious.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
Furthermore, Maul reflects Anakin's irrepressible rage, which becomes a central feature in the Chosen One's character. If George intended to reflect Anakin's beginnings in Darth Maul, the parallels are very clear to see.
Sense great fear in you, Skywalker. You have hate, you have anger, but you don't use them.
Count Dooku is arguably the most complex character in Star Wars.
It's a great pity that our paths have never crossed before, Obi-Wan. Qui-Gon always spoke very highly of you.
His arc across the prequels is very reminiscent of Anakin's, again paving the way for truth in this theory.
I've been looking forward to this.
Similar to Maul, Star Wars media released since the prequels have embellished Dooku's story. But in the prequels, Count Dooku is established as a former Jedi who began to reject the Jedi Code.
What if I told you that the Republic was now under the control of the Dark Lord of the Sith?
No, that's not possible. The Jedi would be aware of it.
The dark side of the Force has clouded their vision, my friend.
By the time we meet Anakin again in Attack of the Clones, he too has begun to reject the Jedi Code.
I'm ready for the trials, but he feels that I'm too unpredictable. He won't let me move on.
That must be frustrating.
It's worse. He's overly critical. He never listens. He doesn't understand. It's not fair.
Anakin begins to give in to his passion and power over honor and order.
I killed them all.
This is reflected by the fallen Jedi, Count Dooku.
The Force is with us, Master Sidious.
Both became disillusioned with the Order,
It's all Obi-Wan's fault.
seeking alternatives and allowing their own beliefs to become their central driving force. So if Maul represented Anakin's beginnings, a false sense of freedom and inner rage, Count Dooku reflects Anakin's journey towards seeking a greater purpose and falling away from the Jedi Order.
I have good news for you, my lord. The war has begun.
Excellent. Everything is going as planned.
General Kenobi!
Moving on to the final part of this theory, and General Grievous reflects the saddening outcome of the Chosen One. In Episode 3, we are introduced to a ruthless, cold and calculating cyborg.
You are doomed.
Shining a light on reflections within Anakin, and by the time we reach Episode 3, all remnants of Anakin's humanity are lost.
Love won't save you, Padme. Only my new powers can do that.
As we see him slaughtering anyone in his path, even within his own order.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
The major parallel is very surface level, and that is the appearance of Grievous, reflected in the final stages of Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Although Palpatine is the central villain in the Star Wars story,
I am the Senate.
every decision Anakin follows through with works against his best interests. From a false sense of freedom and unwavering rage, to becoming a fallen Jedi.
Something's happening. I'm not the Jedi I should be.
And finally, a cyborg himself. This is one theory that stands on its own two legs, without requiring testimony of its truth from George himself. Lucas remains untouched when it comes to his genius and creativity within the Star Wars franchise. By taking the notion of rhyming and creating patterns within characters to an all new level of brilliance is just one of the reasons the Star Wars prequels are such fantastic, complex movies.
We're always trying to work with a sidekick, an apprentice to the Dark Lord.
Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.
It's time for you to leave.
Subscribe for more adventures on the channel. Still undecided? There's plenty more to enjoy on the channel. Either way, may the Force be with you.